Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, April 12th, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, and in Mexico City it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. One of the electronic reinsurance trade journals has a bulletin floating around saying that BMS, Ballantyne, McKeon, and Sullivan, has poached, as they put it, Guy Carpenter's Stefano Niccolini. Niccolini is a ILW expert, or at least alleged to be, and had been at Carpenter and previously had been at Collins and remained with Carpenter when they acquired it. So presumably he'll be on gardening leave for a little while. Now we'll go to our main stories. There was a landslide in northeastern Italy this morning. It derailed a train, it killed 11 people and left some 30 people injured. It happened near a small town near the Austrian border called Merano, M-E-R-A-N-O. Here's a picture of the area, a map. It's about 185 miles north of Venice. The wreckage was still on the tracks, but the area was cordoned off. The train line runs between the Adige River and the mountains. A transport official said the landslide was caused when an irrigation pipe burst open, sending rocks, debris, and water down onto the path of the oncoming train at about 9:30 this morning. The train itself was prevented by trees from plunging too far and not going into the river. It was a local train. In southern Spain this morning, there was a fairly substantial earthquake, a 6.2. It's about 24 kilometers southeast of the city of Granada. Here's a map. There were no reports of any damage or injuries. It was at 12:08 a.m. Local time this morning. So that's an unusual situation for that area, and in an area that unfortunately does see a lot of earthquakes. The Solomon Islands saw a powerful 6.8 quake on Sunday. There were no reports of any damage or injuries. It was about 37 miles southwest of Cura Cura on Makura Island at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time Sunday. This is a picture of the Baja Peninsula. We just briefly glance at this. You see the bright red spot in the middle there. That's indicative of an earthquake. That's a 2.7 this morning. But you can see that's the area where the Mexican quake occurred last week, and there has been an awful lot of seismic activity in that area over the past week, as you can see. Now we'll move on to the main story of the weekend. Of course, that would be the crash of the Polish presidential jet in western Russia on Saturday. It killed the president of Poland right here, Lech Kaczynski, and it killed 95 other people, including his wife, the head of the Polish Joint Chiefs of Staff. A collection of other people we'll mention as we go through this. The plane was a Tu-154, Tupolev 154. It was trying to land in dense fog near the Smolensk airport. Officials have recorded the flight voice recorder. They have not released any information about the conversations. However, attention is being focused on the pilot's state of mind because of a previous incident involving the Polish president, President Kaczynski. Apparently in August of 2008, Kaczynski got into a dispute with the pilot flying the Polish Air Force One going into Tbilisi, the Georgian capital. The president demanded that the pilot land despite dangerous conditions. The pilot disagreed and he diverted to a neighboring airport. Kaczynski then threatened that there would be consequences for the pilot. He said if someone decides to become a pilot, he cannot be fearful. After returning to the country, we shall deal with this matter. The pilot was not disciplined, and he received a medal, in fact, for his service, but the defense minister did later confirm that the pilot had suffered depression as a result of the incident. The former Polish president, Lech Walesa, told a Polish newspaper on Sunday that in these situations, the captain of the plane often sought the views of the government leaders on the plane. Walesa said if there were any doubts, the leaders were always approached and asked for their decision, and only on this basis were further steps taken. Sometimes the plane captain would make the decision himself, even against their recommendations. We don't know what's happened yet, so let's leave the explaining to the experts. In this case, the pilot had been warned to bad weather in Smolensk. He was advised by traffic controllers to land elsewhere. Had he done that, he would have delayed the ceremonies for which the Polish president and the entourage were headed to Western Russia for. The Russians are saying that the readings off the black boxes confirmed there were no difficulties with the plane. On the plane, of course, was a host of other people, including the deputy foreign minister, the National Bank president, the Olympic Committee head, the deputy parliament speaker, the head of the National Security Office, and many others. The 26-year-old aircraft apparently was functioning perfectly. According to the British newspaper The Telegraph this morning, the president may have pressured the pilot into landing. According to the paper, Kaczynski was known for his assertiveness toward pilots who had flown him on official business in the past. Unbelievable. The stock market in New York is over 11,000 right now, 11,007. It's up about 10 points. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
The Lloyd's insurer Beazley is changing its reporting currency to American dollars for the 2010 financial year onward. The move follows an earlier announcement in January of this year that Beazley's underwriting capital would be maintained in the principal underwriting currencies of its written premiums as a result of growth and planned growth in its U.S. dollar business. Beazley said in a statement, "We believe that this change will give investors and other stakeholders a clearer understanding of the group's performance over time." News from Tallahassee, another startup property insurance company is in trouble with Insurance Commissioner Kevin McCarty. He said on Friday that Olympus Insurance Company doesn't have enough reinsurance at its disposal to pay claims if there is a catastrophic event. Of course, the hurricane season begins on June 1st. Regulators are concerned that the company funneled too much profit to its managing general agent. The insurance department told the Orlando company 4 weeks ago to comply with Florida's solvency requirements to avoid suspension or loss of its license to operate. Regulators have ordered a half dozen of the smaller new insurers to get into compliance in the past 30 days. News from Bloomington, Illinois, that the largest motor insurer in the United States, State Farm, is going to try to subrogate claims stemming from alleged faults in the acceleration system of certain Toyotas. Concern over the accelerators in a number of models have led to the big recall that have affected over 2 million vehicles. State Farm claimed that it alerted safety regulators in the U.S. about reports of unexpected acceleration in Toyotas more than 2 years ago. So now it's said that it's going to ask Toyota to recompense it, pay it back for the cost of claims related to unintended acceleration. This is an interesting development. The American government's reportedly considering additional financial penalties against Toyota. Last week, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration